Take notice. Take focus. We can't take colored man. Take notice. Better be that, better be right. It's a mess for we to clean. Eyes wide open, she says while she sleeps. Looking in the book, you be counting shapes. Near you is a Canis Lopez. You let it come the closest. Your throat sits focused. Didn't care about his fast, didn't want to know he is. Snake in the grass, I'm in the force focus. I'm a weird more, take notice. At least I'm not bogus. I'm in personage. Under the sky dome is my domicile home. Take notice. My body died this year, but I'm back on this. I got work, you got church. Some good Moors are still captured. Pastors are bastard. This unnatural disaster's past the standard. Scales tip off balance. Kidnap Moors, we're not silent. Take notice. Free rides to the Moors. Camping is non-violent. Take notice. We can't take colors. Lie. Emily Corstetter. Deny more bail from some trumped up charges for probable causes. Quasi. Corrupt and set up. Take notice. Attorneys are officers of the court. That's a conflict. Folks at the Supreme Judicial Court say, for this particular instance, COVID proof, no need to keep 6 feet distant. Take notice. They got squirrel's foot. The world look through this information, assuming jurisdiction on the occupation. 1478, Tribunal de Santa, Officio de la Inquisition. Ferdinand and Isabel still running with no intermission. Take notice. Your favorite rapper is a house nigga. Ninja. Be my guest, not a passenger. Be your first, not the last in ya. Finish it, says the Black Widow. Take notice. We not colored, man. Take notice. He a snack for ya. Nature's beautiful and vicious when attacking. Build up where you're lacking. Your backbone is not backing. Black on, what is that you flapping? No such thing, just acting. True persona, they don't wanna take notice. You up, sleepwalking. We on front page, way under the profit. I'm done, saved. Say something positive. Out to nature, Cal-L, take notice. With or without a cape, an eye laser, take notice. Was a minor, now a major. Give thanks to the creator. Take notice. The change to transhumanism. Boy, no it's not. When they use a tool to clip, left the slit. Chromosomes still a Y, so you're still a manish. Sexuality crisis. Take notes, I know this. Set a price on what's priceless. Corpses are lifeless. You can't stand. Cutting through the 76 with a grand slam. The base empty. Who Drew did it? Got you home and they know this, man. You didn't take notes though. Vamps got your blood in the cup, overflow. Leap, but they won't play this on the radio like overflow. With nonsense. Why you can't be yourself? Busy being everybody else. Look at the image in the mirror. Take notice. Put it all over the shelf. Take notice. Strange how they be. Strange how they be. When you fire, they never retire. Try to put the flames out on me. Things free, not a fee. How we gonna pay? We ain't got no S or a G. OLD. Take notice.
Stay focused. Take notice. Take Take notice, stay focused on the fine prints. Never sign shit without reserved rights right beside it. Bind it, cause my sign of nature is divine. Kids searching for a style like this, you can't find it. Take notice of the true motives of your opponents. Zone in on their vulnerability, then expose it. Show them that the spell of hypnosis has been broken, cause the serpent's reached the top of the column. Now he's floating. Take notice. Take notice. Yo. Divinely prepared to have your mind stay repaired on a wing and a prayer. Yo, it's time to declare bloodline and pedigree while the sunshine is wetting me, never setting on the empire, expanding exponentially with stay focused. Take notice. Take notice, stay focused on the fine prints. Never sign shit without reserved rights right beside it. Bind it, cause my sign of nature is divine. Kids searching for a style like this, you can't find it. Take notice of the true motives of your opponents. Zone in on their vulnerability, then expose it. Show them that the spell of hypnosis has been broken, cause the serpent's reached the top of the column. Now he's floating. Take notice. Take notice. Yo. Divinely prepared to have your mind stay repaired on a wing and a prayer. Yo, it's time to declare bloodline and pedigree while the sunshine is wetting me, never setting on the empire, expanding exponentially with intent to let it breathe. Try to lock it up, bent the key. Along came noble Drew Ali, taught you how to set it free. Told you only half, not the whole, cause he knew where it lead. Right back to your bed sheets, getting sleep, catching Z's 100 years later. Exactly how he said it be, cause you and you alone can exercise the remedy, information to save the nation. Take it, save yourself and anyone else who cares to study and share the wealth. So please be yourself, let it be. There's more to tell, need to heed. The ministry that leads to higher self supersedes desires, hell, energies rise and fell. To succeed in industry needs supreme clientele. Through deed and through action, bring your soul satisfaction. Rather show and prove, spark a slow chain reaction. First love, then truth, start chemically reacting. Peace and freedom go hand in hand like the sun and moon dancing. If these four are violated, there is an understanding. The hand's been forced, injustice then must take action. I'm the star man standing at the center of the flag, the center of the universe, steadily busting back. Respect and honors of the most highest accord to the upright, independent, fearless type swords whom for all of us have truly endured, bore the brunt of this movement. So stop talking that manure. You jocking de facto, we rock with de jure. We uplift humanity, you causing discord. No sawed off shotgun, just a hand on the sword for you suckers clinging to brands that'll have you as wards. A reminder of sorts for those knocked off course. On this side here, these rising tides and shores, we straight up ride for the rise of the Moors. Political prisoners who abide by law. These so-called courts still haven't shown probable cause. Need to come to this realization we face in colonization. No more debating, clear case of trading places, placing $1 bets for the sake of forsaking our people. So heed the call of the nation. It's time for rebuilding, just keeping it a billion. Beginning with our children, start molding their brilliance. No more holding in feelings, keep the psyche resilient, cause mental health is wealth. Inside this pavilion, let us raise our seeds properly, to know that they're not property, to take their rightful place as heirs, fulfilling prophecy. Quite the anomaly being that you lost your seat, sat you in the back, now you're moving with hostility. Bomb atomically, lawfully, with honesty. We calmly speak on birthright, you screaming about sovereignty. Missed me with that nonsense, all hella emotional. Only respond to intelligent tone. These agents all pause once the guard walks in, floss and head wrapped flawless, eyes locked, gawk, and they lack the gravitas so bad. I'm going all in, they call me Jaws. My fez is like a shark's fin. Take notice, this a demand and not a motion. A noble travel in his land by locomotion. An adept is one who can command emotions, whose thoughts are infinite like sands in the ocean. Take notice, this composed writ a magnum opus. 30 days to respond to this chapter is closing. This is lawful over legal, anything else is bogus. No hocus pocus poses catching the white fist of the lotus. Take notice. Take notice. Take notice of jurisprudence and its components. Take notice of how you're moving in the moment. Take notice of the ancestors whispering in your ear. Take notice of the old press oppressors, miseries, and fears. The position of the sun, moon, and stars. Their processions tell you who you are. Your dominion over creatures, land, and sea. You're the master of everything, 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 everything. This place has everything. Come on, I'll show you.
Civic. Raka! North Star! That way. The North Star's that way. Canaanland moves. Read off, we pay every day. Uplift the fee cause we all pays. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle sevens first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. Declare 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed cause I seen the proof. No but Drew X. Do have to draw it out for you, cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Spruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Coffee, whirlwind times 2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and sit there and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the Moorish government, you know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? No sense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, Olmecan features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty moths and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point. Spirit messages never off. Inner realizations, encounter the higher selves. Next plane existence explains my consistence. Without a foe, you never know, so path most resistant. Divinity, my twin flame, side chick and mistress, metaphysic, kabbalistic, almaroc mystic, patriarch, papistics, make my thoughts sadistic, so indigenous, call me Americanistic, invoking the ancestors, Saracen cryptic.
North Star! That way. The North Star's that way. Canaanland moves. Read off, we pay every day. Uplift the fee cause we all pays. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle sevens first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. Declare 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed cause I seen the proof. No but Drew X. Do have to draw it out for you, cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Spruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Coffee, whirlwind times 2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and sit there and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the Moorish government, you know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? It makes no sense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, all mechan features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty mortals and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point. Spirit messages never off. Inner realizations, encounter the higher selves. Next plane existence explains my consistence. Without a foe, you never know, so past most resistant. Divinity, my twin flame, side chick and mistress, metaphysic, kabbalistic, almaroc mystic, patriarch, papistics, make my thoughts sadistic, so indigenous, call me Americanistic, invoking the ancestors, Saracen cryptic, suns on rotation, flows ecliptic, shatter all illusions, reveal the realistic, sitting in the dark, cold in the light, marvelous, recognize the artifice, skin so carbonous, hair so antenna, I feel them from Vienna, myriad of virtues, lessons, in reptilian henna, enlightenment seekers won't find it in mainstream. Focus as a laser, stay balanced like a beam. Not even a gymnast. Whenever I flip this, as above, so below, get out when within this. Don't think I'm a slave cause I speak in English. Drew, I'll leave the water, watch your flames get extinguished. Living in your higher, lower self is relinquished. Reputation of master teachers, call it distinguished.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm rock bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me upright, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm sorbet, repping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snake's still showing up, stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finishing.
Moorish Omar, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Fact slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic, calling them Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence. evidence. DA are feminists, stomped on by elephants. Won't let go prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the magnetic resonance, apis horns of the sacred book all maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence. Ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wander in the earth plane with no veil of shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Want to give it a try? Just love to all the Moors. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the Moors. Honors to all the Moors. Moors have a birthright. Moors have a birthright. With that birthright, Moors could do whatever they want to do. Moors could do whatever they want to do, and nobody can't tell them anything because it's their land and they're a Moor and all that. They could do whatever they want. Whatever you want is your land. You're Moor. Yeah, do whatever. Do your thing. Do your thing. Now remember, we're RV Bay Publications all day, every day, for any more that's coming into this info. Before you do anything or go anywhere and go learn about something, you go to rvbaypublications.com, stay there for a year. Stay there for a year. Go to RV. If you want to know about Moors and all that stuff, this is what we say. Go to rvbaypublications.com, stay there for a year. 90% of the people aren't going to be able to do that off the top. Right? They're going to get bored. Go, and because they want some exciting stuff over there. Instead of staying there for a year or whatever. And then 2, go to Canaanland Moors, to the playlist, and watch Back to Basics. Back to Basics for any more who wants to know about this. Watch those 30. After those 30, you're ready to go. However long those 30 take you to watch those. Whether you binge watch them or whether you take your time with it, whatever. Once you watch 30 of those and you study from those, when I say watch it, it's an hour. And then after an hour, watch the other one. And then we're talking about watch it and do your research while you're watching it and all that. Right? RV Bay Publications, Canaanland Moors Back to Basics. And the reason why there's a Canaanland Moors Back to Basics, because there's Moors who are of a higher mind that are tired going over the BS introductory stuff all the time when we're supposed to be doing, you know what I mean? We're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be talking about this stuff still. We're supposed to be the active people. But, you know, we gotta uplift fallen humanity. So, in order for us to do our job of uplifting fallen humanity, so we're going to have a Back to Basics series of classes, class 1 to class 30, whatever, and you should be good after you watch those. You don't got to ask any questions because everybody on the videos that was at the class, their questions are the same questions you're going to have. So you don't got to do anything. You just have to take notes, go do your research. Right? The reason why there's a Back to Basics, because Moors wanted to do more. And they were tired of just being at the temple and all we're talking about is this basic stuff. We already know about straw men and all that. You need to hear anything about straw men. Which brings us to the point. In 2008, we learned, leave the straw man over there. That's not yours. So we learned studying rvbaypublication.com. If you're going to do anything with the straw man, put a flame to it. If you're going to do anything with the straw man, choke it out. If you're going to do anything with the straw man, put everything that you can that you don't want on that and tie a brick to that and throw it over a bridge. That's what you do with straw men. You're having conversations with straw men. You're not taking straw men over there to the straw man authenticator. And the straw man guy is going to tell you that, yeah, the straw man is official. So now you can go do whatever you want with it. Any more who needs help, public or private, automatically. As soon as you hear people talking about public and private, know that they have something for you. They have a rabbit hole for you. They're going to send you into oblivion while they steal your finance. As soon as you hear that, those are code words. 08, those are code words. Those guys are the sovereign people guys who talk like that. They don't have anything to do with nationality. They're going to tell you over here about UCCs, and they're going to tell you about, some process that you're going to do or whatever like that. And they're in that realm. Commerce people. Pushing an idea. An idea that this straw man has some type of value to you in some type of way, shape, or form. And then because you went to the state of whoever and they authenticated, now it's officially. No, it's not. You're supposed to choke the straw man out. It serves you no purpose, but puts you in a dead status. It's going to put you in a dead status. That's just what it is. It's nothing to go, check. That has nothing to do with you. You didn't create it. It's not your business. It's not your corpse. It's not your dead body. Somebody else's dead body. Let them have their dead body with all the debts and everything else that's on it. What do you want that for? That's a debt instrument. Yeah, I'm a secured party creditor, but I claimed a debt instrument. Sure you are. Sure you are. You're a secured party creditor, but you're claiming a debt. Why would? Well, what happened? What happened? I thought you were a secured party creditor on the private side. Then why are you doing this public instrument? I thought you were on the private side. What? Come on the private side and then you're dealing with this public instrument. The instrument's not private. That stuff been all around the world. Right? But what they should really be telling you, instead of telling you UCC games and private this and that or whatever, what they should really be telling you is that, you see, the original straw man is the Negro black colored. And because the straw man, the first straw man, is Negro black colored, when you claim the birth certificate, that's called slave trade. because you're trafficking. You're trafficking a person. A birth certificate represents what? A person, right? Okay, a person that was born, right? And then a driver's license represents what? A person, right? Okay. And then a passport represents what? A person. And a social a person. And then an income tax is a person. Oh, so yeah, hammer the truth in. The real straw man is the Negro black colored. That's why we give honors to Noble Drew Ali. That's why we give honors to him. Because he's the only one that told us that we're not Negro black colored. The only one that told us. And yes, qualification. That person is artificial. That person that's on all those instruments is artificial because it's a corporation. So it's not really a person in how you look at it. It's a person, but it's not a natural person. It's an artificial person. So because it's an artificial person, if you're a secured party creditor, why would you claim an artificial person? Unless you're involved in commerce, which is slave trade, the trafficking of persons. That's why property can't own property, because property is owned. You own something when you're owned. Anything you own is owned by who owns you. Right, and then they're going to dangle the little straw man carrot over here and then have you go over there into some straw man stuff that has nothing to do with anything when you should be focused on you're not Negro black colored. Right? Is just straw man the same thing as being Morisco? Exactly. And you can even go further and just, like we say, any misnomer is the straw man. The natural person is the nationality, not the naturalized person. The natural person is the nationality. And anything else is a straw man. So then you ask yourself now, okay, so if everything else is a straw man, how come they're not doing a driver's license process? Claiming that has numbers on it. What do those numbers represent? Oh, they didn't check, right? Because it's some BS. Isn't the passport have a person? How come they're not going to authenticate the passport? How come they're not authenticating the social number? How come they're not authenticating all these other instruments? Why just the birth certificate? Because if you do it for one, then you should have to do it for all. Because some of those things are parallel instruments. And nobody's asking you for a birth certificate to get one of those. It's in its own realm. So you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful. When your mind is full, then you know stuff. I'm not talking mindful that these people are talking about, get in the yoga pose and watch your breathing, mindfulness and all that stuff. We're not talking about that. We're talking about get your mind full. Be mindful so that you don't fall into issues with people trying to do something that's already been done already. You just assist with what's already been done. You're doing some new thing. Why is there a new thing being done? Right. Moorish nationality, Moorish history, Moorish science, Moorish mysticism, Moorish, whatever you want to call it, that's Moorish. Whatever it is that you call it. And you could relate it to being tied to the Moors. Know that that's for humanity. That's not for the Moor who has it to be he's got it. And then now for you to get it, you gotta, no, they should just give that stuff to you. If it's like that for UCCs and whatever, they should just be giving that out. You don't even have to go to no course for that. They just be telling you, what's the SIN number? Doop, 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 doop. Files whatever paper. And then whoever it is, they're going to get their exemption account, unlimited credit. What's yours? Send in the paper, that guy gets it. What's yours? Send in the paper, that guy gets it. Because if you're already in the position of secured party creditor, then why you need to charge people to do something that you got unlimited credit? What the hell you need people's fiat for? How come you need people's fiat, but you're a secured party creditor? How come? Yep. Just finding another way to rob their people. Finding a way to rob their people. Did you mean to push that, sis?
Hi, peace and love, brothers and sisters. Yes, I wanted to know if you're able to speak about the procedure about transferring the car to your family trust fund. What has been you guys' experience on you guys' end over there with the DMV around where you guys live? If you could talk about that, if possible. If not, then I understand.
No problem. So we're in the jurisdiction that people would commonly call Canada. So just like everywhere else, they have their Ministry of Transportation or Transportation Department of whatever, that issues these instruments, licenses and whatever. What we've experienced is that depending on the jurisdiction would depend on how they're going to deal with you. It's not about whether the information's right or wrong. So we know, for example, we know Moors near Cali, for example, who, because their property wasn't registered, the highwaymen that took the car gave it back to them because it's not in his jurisdiction. Then there's other jurisdictions where even if you have it in a trust, they're taking your stuff. So there's no, this is the way that it's gonna go or not. It's gonna be all on where the jurisdiction that you're in, and you doing your studying there. You talk to different Moors in different territories and see what they did, and you make a move with what it is that you're trying to do.
Okay.
Because there's no the idea that there's some guy out there who you're gonna go to him, and then I'm gonna tell you, well, this is how you do it, and then you're gonna do it like that, and it's gonna go how it's supposed to go. That's a fiction. Because all the jurisdictions are different. All the colonists deal with the freedom of the people in different ways. Some people respect it, and some people You know, they do like what they did to Moorish militia in certain jurisdictions. They kidnap you and they'll hold you there and take your property. Because this is what was created. This is what was created because the people didn't listen to Noble Drew Ali in the 20s. So now we're paying for it. But it's not for us to get mad about it. It's for us to put our minds together and then figure out how we're gonna do certain things. So when you say, for example, put things into trust, what we know about trust is that trusts are for beneficiaries. Trust is not for us to do it. You know what I mean? To have the benefit. It's for the later generations to have the benefit if we're talking about trust.
Okay.
Right? So the main thing with regard to protecting your property is to not register it with these people. Because once it's registered with them, once they got it, then they got it. All you have to do is maneuver with it, unless you're going to take it out from their jurisdiction and put it in your own. But if you're doing that, you better have a body of people that you're doing that with, not just you as an individual. Because again, it goes to jurisdictions. And in certain jurisdictions, for example, we know Moors near North Carolina, they've been exercising right to travel, their own tags, they have their nationality card and their own paper that says this is their property, which is a bill of sale from whoever they bought the stuff from, and they don't have issues. And that's for the past 15, 20 years that they've had no issues. Well, even if there was an accident, there's no issue. Highwayman comes, sees a nationality card, says, all right, well, that's his property. Sorry, we don't got anything to do with this. You got to deal with him because he's not in our jurisdiction. You are, because you have a license. So we'll deal with you. But the accident that happened with you and this guy over here, you and him have to sort that out. We're not in it.
When you say a body of people, you mean to find like a group of Moors that together you are doing things with?
Right, yeah. So you're doing it as a body. Because to do it as an individual, they're just going to pick you off because you're just one individual.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
Because the thing that we're dealing with too is that our back's always against the wall.
So
We're not ever working from a place of being in the positive. We're always working from reaction, not pro-action. We always have to get a ticket first to want to find out about Moors and nationality. We have to have something happen, get kidnapped or something, and now we want to find out about Moors. When we should have wanted to find out about Moors 4 months ago. But we were too busy, you know, at the club. So, you know, Moors didn't even matter at that point. So what it really is it's about studying whatever it is that your issue is, studying before you implement anything, and have some Moors who aren't going to tell you 5,000 or whatever like that for some paper, right? Have some Moors around you that you could do this with. But, you know, with Allah's will, they're closer to where you're at. You know, so you could actually deal with them on a personal, because we're supposed to be family.
Right.
Right? We're all of the same nation.
Yes, I just actually.
So like I said.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I actually went to notify DMV of me putting my vehicles in my trust, and they were trying to make me pay the fee to change. And I said I am not paying the fee because I'm not. That doesn't. Those laws that you have don't apply to me because I'm not a corporation of the United States, and I am not going to pay those fees because of what I already explained. And then they were Then they just took paperwork, and then they're going to send everything to the state. So that's where I am at right now.
Because yes, because no, okay, let me ask you this question. So with regard to the property, is there any issues with it? Like everything's paid on it? Do you have nobody chasing you for anything or whatever? There's no issues?
Yes, they're fully mine. They're fully paid off. They're not. They're fully paid off.
Right. So then if everything's good right now, let's say they haven't, let's say you haven't had to deal with them as far as tickets or going to court or whatever like that for the past 2 years, let's say. And everything's good. You have no issues. They're not trying to hunt you down for something. You're not, looking over your back while you're up because the plate's been expired for 20 years or anything like that. If that's not the case and everything's good, then there's no rushing. Like you don't need to rush to do anything, because you could put yourself in a worse situation by rushing.
So I surrendered my license, and then I told them. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
And I took a copy of my trust cover letter, my laureate title, my affidavit of certificate to surrender, and I gave him also a copy of my legal name change and proclamation for the records, and I asked them to scan everything into the file for the vehicle in case any policy enforcer, police officer, kidnapper, highwayman tries to kidnap me, abduct me, before they try to attempt anything, so that they can read that information and know that they shouldn't try to do any of those things because they have no right, because I'm free to travel as I see fit or needed. Of course, keeping in mind the safety of other people and myself. And so they're going to send copies to the state, and they're going to let the state answer me back. That's where.
Yeah, but right. So what jurisdiction are you in?
I am I'm near Riverside, California.
Okay, California. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure there's more in here on some that are in the chat that are in that jurisdiction.
Yes, I would actually.
That you can deal with them as far as finding the resolution. Because where it's at right now, once you're talking to them from the perspective of nationality and what your status is, then everything you do with them is notice. So they know what it is that you're engaging in. Now, if you have the because the other thing is about not putting certain things into the ethers, because you're in the conveyance now, so there's no issue at the moment, right? But with what it is that you've done, that process that you've done, once it's from the perspective of nationality and not from the perspective of commerce, then you have to be that. So you have to have a turban on right now. You have to,
Oh yes.
Be yourself.
I'm sorry.
You have to go through. You have to go like if you're being it, then you have to be it. You can't think the paper is what's gonna make you get through, or the state is what's gonna make you get through. It's you that's gonna make the thing be what it is. The outcome that you're looking for. It's gonna be based on you and what you're doing. Because you've already committed to what it is that you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So to adding on to what it is that you're doing, right? Because I can't tell you what to do, whether you did something right or wrong, because you're in the car right now, so everything's right for now. There's not any issue. That's all I was asking, if there's any issues or whatever, right? So if there's no issues and everything is what it is right now,
Inshallah.
then you're doing fine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But again, it's about connecting with Mars and seeing what, you know, because I don't know what you did, whether that's the way to do it in that jurisdiction, or if there's a Moor who did it different and they've been doing that for 20 years. Why not just do what they did?
Mm-hmm.
If their stuff is moving like that, you know what I mean? And you just did something yesterday, well, I'm going to go with the guy who's been doing something for 20 years opposed to what you're doing, even if what you're doing worked.
About a week ago, I made the local court, Hall of Justice, it's not a court, I'm so sorry, the wannabe court, the corporation acting as a court near where I reside, made them aware, made the county corporate aware of my proclamation of the whole, that I'm proclaiming my birthright and my nationality. I'm claiming all those rights, and I am not their corporation. And that was about a week ago. So right now I'm waiting for them to reply. There's a 10 days that give them 10
No
days.
reply, but reply for what though? What do you?
10 days so that they can give me proof that they have the right to act in the position they're acting, that they have the jurisdiction.
No, but you said that you went to court though.
Oh, I served them my paperwork.
No, but you mentioned court. So what? How come you mentioned court?
Pardon my use of the word.
No. But you mentioned that, like, did you have a date that you were supposed to go to or something like that, or like what? Why would you mention court?
Yes, I did have a date, but according to their calendar, but they have no jurisdiction over me. So I made it known to them, and then I served them with the paperwork. So yeah, and I'm not wearing a turban. I have lots of scars that I don't know. I need practice on how to put it on and such. But so right now, this is what I can do. At least I feel well covered.
Okay, well,
I wish I knew now what I wish I knew then what I don't know now, actually. And I wish more of us would know and get together and
that's the whole point of you getting with Moors that are in your territory, so that it's not looking like it's just you doing something.
Right.
It's a body that's doing it.
I am so thankful to have come across all of you and
honors to you, mother.
all of this information, and peace and love, and I'll continue to listen. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, just put your IG in the chat, because there's some Moors on here that are near Cali that would probably reach out to you, so you could connect.
Thank you. Yes, I've done everything following RBV publications, and I'm so thankful. Yeah. And peace be unto all of you, and may Allah continue to bless you and wake up all of those who are asleep, and may you all have the strength to continue guiding those of us who are barely waking up. Well, I've been feeling something for the last 2 years. But I've been seeing things and on my own mostly. And I said a long time ago, I said, wait a minute, how come? Okay, so how can we all relate to this one Jesus, that they think that. So what about how can we all relate to this one person only? We're all so different. Things like that, for
Right.
example, and other stuff. And then now I came to the real truth of what I've been feeling. And so thank you for your time, and I'll continue to listen.
Thank
Peace and love
you.
to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace and love.
Peace and
Islam.
love. Islam.
Right. So in a messed up world, she would have got billed because people are saying that was a consultation because we talked about her issue. So because we talked about her issue and I gave them some reference points or whatever like that, that's 500 an hour or 50 every half hour or whatever the case is. Right? Don't fall for it. Do exactly what she said. Study. Doing her research. Where did she say? How much places did she say she went to study? How many places did she mention? One. rvbaypublications.com. And look how far she is in 2 years with rvbaypublications.com. And just like the Moorish said in the chat, who said there? I thought there was no Moorish unity. Wasn't that Moorish unity right there? Nobody question who's your grand sheik and what temple you from and all that stuff. No, sister in adversity assists. That's all. Ain't nothing. It's not hard. That's all. Just assist. Do your part to inspire them to do better. Because one breast is giving us all suck. What are you going over there for? That's how it's supposed to be. Just like that is what it's supposed to be. You just bump into them more. Islam. Yeah, I was going through this situation. Give me your number or whatever. And that's that. Do a private consultation with them because, you know what I mean? You don't want to go learn a trade and start servicing the people or something. Right? So on to rvbaypublications.com. National identification card. Notice how she mentioned the place where she went to learn was rvbaypublications.com. Isn't that what we said in the beginning? That's where you should go. And then a more calls in. Never talk to them ever. And they tell you all that and bring up rvbaypublications.com, and then you think that this is not guided? You think this is not guided by Allah? You really think it's not guided? And those are the ones that let you know this is how real it is. Peace, more. If you push that by accident.
No. I was reading a screen. Go ahead. I'm listening to you, brother, though. I see you bringing up the nationality card, and just so happened that I came across some of my books. So I got them on a coffee table. So I'm actually here to back you up on some things. And shout out to Mother Yakirati Star, Namaste in Islam to her. Seriously, because she is sincerely. Like
Islam.
But I yield to you, brother, Islam. I'm actually here to back you up. I want to go to the coffee table with you, man, while you're doing this. So let's do it.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Islam.
Islam. Let me see.
So the nationality card is for this right here. If you don't do anything else, declare your nationality. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. There's and they did it with the paperwork. We saw the consulate, the Moorish consulate, do it with the paperwork, right? Where they took the paperwork from Great Seal, brought it over to the consulate, changed the header on it, and now they are moving with the paperwork that Moors have been using for 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. So why wouldn't these people just work with the people who already have paperwork? Why wouldn't they just work with them? Unless they have motives, unless they have some type of other thing that they want to do. Because this is about, if you don't do anything else, declare your nationality. Declare yours. And that starts with you knowing. That starts with knowledge. It doesn't start with, I have a card, so I'm a Moor. I have some papers, so I'm a Moor. That's not where it starts. It starts with you knowing first. Knowing why you're declaring your nationality. Because the first issue is status. And the point that she was making was there. You know what I mean? I let them know my status. And now they got to let me know theirs. Or they just have to yield the floor because they acquiesced. And once they acquiesce, they void themselves. Right? So status is the standing, the state, or the condition being a social position. It is the legal relation of an individual to the rest of the community. Status also relates to the rights, the duties, the capacities, and the incapacities which determine a person to a given class. It is the legal, personal relationship, not temporary in its nature, nor terminable at the mere will of the parties, with which third persons and the state are concerned. While the term implies relation, it is not a mere relation. It is a legal relation, and it establishes a state, since it also signifies the condition or circumstances in which one stands in regard to his property. Why? Because property can't own property, like you said earlier. So if property can't own property, then status must be a very important issue. Because you can't own property unless you're in the correct status, unless you're in the standing, the state, or the condition in relation to the other people in your community who have a particular status, and then they're in a particular condition. And then the Moor has the law definition right up there. So you can't say, this is what Moors say, and we're, you know, this is straw man argument and all that. This is the definition of status in the law dictionary. So it's not our opinion. This is what status is. So when Noble Drew Ali told Moors, you're not Negro, black, colored, he was correcting your status. For you. All you had to do was now declare your nationality, like he told you. But once you declare your nationality, you better be what you're declaring. Right? You don't want to wear a fez all day, or you don't want to wear a turban, and your hat better say Moabite on it.
Hey, yo. Hey, I really tried not to laugh, bro. My apologies. Go ahead.
You know, your favorite team baseball cap better have a tassel on it. Right? You better be what you know. You have to be what you know, and that's status. Right? There's a lot more. You have anything to throw in?
All right, so in terms of the nationality card, since you went there, when like my first like year, right? It's like my family encyclopedia that my mother and my great grandmother, you know what I mean, peace, you know, be upon my great grandmother, you know what I mean?
That's it.
They had went half on my encyclopedias when I was 11. So let's see, I'd be 38 sun cycles out the womb now. So that's like 27 years ago, right? That's almost a Saturn return ago. But when I was first studying, like my first year, and I was listening to the blog talks, listening to Brother Taj, listening to when it comes to the blog talks, you already know that's you. First and foremost, Mother Roz, Mother Anna-Ida, you and Brother Miz. So you already know I was a nuisance to y'all. Rightly so though, because I really wanted to make sure I comprehended what this is. So these are my notes actually, and that's what I've been doing. I've been cracking out all my first year's notes just to see like where I'm at, because I boomerang myself these past 7 years. I done known what the foundation is. Then I went to go travel to see how other Moors are across the land, whether physically or whatever, or you know what I mean, online too, over the phone, whatever. And now it's like that return right now, and now I'm seeing it with that 7 year cycle, right? It's like, yeah, yo, it's like, all right, so this all now makes complete sense now when I'm going back and read the notes. So like when the people get their nationality card, and you know at the bottom of the nationality card, right? When I took these notes like 6 years ago, right? Maybe 7 years ago, and I wrote pertaining to nationality and identification card, and you like follow the arrow. It's just really what's bracketed right there for real. And you can correct me if I'm wrong in front of everyone, bro, Cujo. So I'm gonna read, because I'm gonna give my measure too on it also, because I remember the pages I'm a reference to, y'all. If y'all got the physical ones, it's fun. It's not funny, but it's the numbers. Because me, Brother Corey, and Brother Jag was going over this earlier, just a little in brief, you know, and just kind of thinking. So the pages in Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, is page 1033 for the term lawyer, and pages 310 and 311 for the terms civil, civitas, civiliter mortuus, or some people say civiliter mortuus, you know what I mean? So civil, all of that is right there, right? All right, so that's what I'll be referencing when I'm going over this in terms of the nationality card, and this is why I'm like, when you go and check Brother Taj's video on nationality is key, but black is not a nationality, that 30-minute video, it even makes more sense, you know what I'm saying, when you just this bracketed portion that I got right here. All right, so when it say like no person, you know what I mean, like we already can see like distinctions, right? Shall be a representative, and I got number 1 right there, who shall not have attained to the age of 25 years, right? So a lot of times when I'm reading things, sometimes I can't help but think astrological. So I'm already kind of in my head, like I'm like, all right, that's right before Saturn returns. It's like 4.5 years short of that. However, 5 on the left, 2 on the right. I do also see that when it says person, it's a capital P. So it's not a lowercase p. So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just kind of looking at that just in my studies. I'm like, all right, that might be possible. That's a proper person.
Yeah, for the time. Yeah, for the time frame that it was written.
Yeah, it's possible that's a
For the
proper
time
person.
frame that was written. Yeah, by them capitalizing it, they're being grammatically correct.
Right. So that would be a proper.
Even if they're using the term person.
Correct. Only in that time. And that's the thing too. That's why I said a lot of times I think astrologically. That's why I don't be on those. You know, bro, because you already know. But a lot of times when I refer things to time travel, I know that when we open these books, that's exactly what we're doing, because we have to. That's why etymology is so important, because we get to actually time travel with the jurisdiction that we, utilize, and that therefore, sets, the place and where we are conversing from. So when we talking about our nationality card and we looking at this bracketed portion, going back to that mindset pertaining to our ancient foremothers and forefathers, right, and enforcing this, right, we know that technically, so to speak, this is basically our elders setting the rules for people who are not from here, if I can put that in the shortest time,
Yeah,
shortest way of
yeah,
saying it, right? All
yeah,
right. So, and have been 7 years. This portion right here, I got underlined, a citizen of the United States. I look at that like, all right, first of all, citizen, right? Citizen, the C is capitalized, right? So grammatically, it's talking about a proper person, citizen. However, citizen
yeah.
is on page, if I'm not mistaken, you can go to page 310, 311 in Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, and still look up Kiwitas, or it looks like Civitas. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's on 310, so that, you know what I mean? And I hope this is a give you, like, a few people a way to kind of just think how to cross-reference and not, kind of go on belief and kind of solidify their own way of, like, if this was like a cooking show and we showing how to, throw some bam on it, then they could, if they ain't got, paprika in their, cabinet, then maybe they can substitute, but still, get a good meal. So, for example, bro, like, all right, kiwis, right? In the Latin, it's pronounced kiwis. Or some will say civis in English, but kiwis, or kiwis, pardon me, Latin in the Roman law. Right, and people are like, oh, in the Roman law, I'm just kind of, it took me down a little rabbit hole. I'm gonna be fast. The Roman law is citizen, as distinguished from incola, which is an inhabitant, origin or birth constituting the former, which is the citizen, but domicile, the latter, which is the inhabitant. Right, so now you kind of think chapter 47 should kind of come to the mind there. Anytime people say something about Roman law too, though, and be like, oh man, Roman, like, hold on, your numerals are rolling in Roman in your Quran. Slow down. And plus Roman law sometimes will just refer to, and it's kind of like a style sometimes, but please, hey, brother Cujo, you already know, man, I ain't never above correction in the public either. But it's like,
No, yeah, well, we know that we're not Roman,
correct.
though.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not. So don't get it messed up.
Exactly.
Like we're Roman because we're reading, this word that's from that law.
Correct. And Roman,
It's a reference. It's a reference point.
Referring to a group thinking process. Like that's what, when we were studying earlier today, right? It's like, all right, so if Kiwitas is any body of people, right, living under the same laws, a state. So technically, Jus Civilitatis, the law pertaining to, that's of a state, right? So no, Moors are not Roman. The idea, though, of all of us being, and I'm not going to even say, I'm not going to say anything other than a body pertaining to people, because even the word people denotes sovereignty. However, not in the sense of sovereign citizen. Do you get what I'm saying? Because even citizen is saying that that's someone that is sovereign to the overall populace, the body politic. So they're like generic terms that people are utilizing specifically in a way that they're not to be utilized, sort of, kind of. Now,
just like how it says state there, but the state isn't capitalized.
Correct.
So they're not talking about the place jurisdiction. They're not talking about the geographical jurisdiction when they say state there.
Correct.
Because it's lowercase, they're talking about the same thing, about the mindset.
Correct.
What's the mindset of the body of people? What's the state? Is the state based on these same laws? Just like we said, we got Zodiac Constitution, Divine Constitution, additional laws. We have all that as our laws, right?
Correct.
Once the body of people are under those laws, then that is going to initiate their state.
Correct.
Right? The laws is going to initiate the state. Now, if the body of people know that they're not Negro, black, colored, and they have a nationality, then this is a whole different discussion now than the average discussion that they would have with our people that have them taking the Constitution and espousing it as if something's in there for them.
Correct.
Right.
Kiwitatis foderato. I'm sorry. Foi deratoi. Towns in alliance with Rome and considered con with siderus, the stars, to be free. Citizenship. One of three, in italics, status. Brother Yusuf says if you look up the online etymology definition, it backs what he's saying about state Islam.
Islam.
Conditions or qualifications pertaining to persons, lowercase p, right? So now, a term in the...
Before you go, before this gets lost in the chat. Zodiac Constitution is for Masons and Eastern Stars. Somebody said in the chat.
Alrighty, I can are they saying that, or are they asking? Are they like, oh, it's for Mason and Eastern Stars, yay? Then I'm agreeing with you. It's just now I'm gonna ask what's your mindset pertaining to Masons and Eastern Stars?
Or even better, what's your state?
Yo, okay, correct. What's your state? I don't even have to say mind state. That's redundant. You're correct. You're correct.
What's your state?
What's your state? What's your
state?
Yeah, what's your state? What's your status? Status, right? Status, right? Okay, well, I'll tell you what my state is. My state is we're all freeborn Master Masons and Eastern Stars. And we don't have to be made over again, which means you don't have to join some place.
Join up to
yeah. Go ahead, Cujo. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, boy.
I'm just saying, you don't. I didn't do anything to have the knowledge that I have except sit my ass down and read. And even times,
you too.
Yeah, like even times when I did kind of was kind of big headed in the beginning. And I, like I said, on the phone with Mother Roz and Mother Anita, and I'm just being all gung ho, I'm a Moor, I'm a Moor. And she's like, what is it about your energy that you attracted this to yourself? And I was like, you know what? I never thought of it like that. See, I don't have a problem with correcting myself. If it don't work in my mind, it's like, holy shit, yeah, that might be okay. I might have skipped the beat right there. Okay, let me go back. Oh shit, okay, now it works now. Yeah, let me stop attracting bullshit to myself. Honestly, I'm just gonna be honest, but to be serious, yes, it is for freeborn Master Masons and Eastern Stars that aren't to be made over again in any kind of way. A lot of people fall for carrots. They fall for promises. They fall for something. And me, I just knew that since I'm here near the Baltimore Corporation, where they look at Moorish science as a jail religion, why, being my lower self to find Prophet Noble Drew Ali incarcerated when I can just force myself into my own incarceration here, like a nun or a monk, right? Because they both live in cells, a criminal or a monk. Both their rooms are called a cell. So with that being said, I prefer a chosen cell than the forced to make changes kind of cell. Islam?
Yeah, straight Islam.
All right, I just want to make sure, because a lot of times I don't get to speak because, brother, like Muslim son that said in the message, he was like, yeah, more you speak, kind of on levels that people might think you're alien, but it's like, I'm not trying to sound highfalutin and intelligent. I know I learned from Brother Taj that if you plant the seed and walk away, let the sun and moon do what it do, because ears are always listening. You know what I mean? So I can't expect,
Constantly.
It's things you told me, in my first year, and I was like, all right, so what about this Grand Major Temple? And you was like, you wasn't thinking about Grand Major Temple before you got your ass in trouble. I was like, yeah, you're right. You're actually right, bro. You know what? You're right. I was like, yeah, you're right, yo. So let me pedal it back. And that's when I realized, yo, I really had to get my energy right first, yo, for real. Because, you know what I mean? When I know something. And I ran with it kind of in a way where I was like, hold on, I need to be able to know this off the top of my head, that even if I ain't even have a typewriter or a computer and a printer, I can grab a pencil and a notepad for real and still write a writ. You know what I mean? Draw the emblems with my hand for real if I need to, draw the flag for real. You know what I mean? That's really good to practice for real, because, I mean, just in case, you know what I'm saying? However, we're not attracting that to ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We don't have the spirit of fear, you feel me? So with that being said, I'm on Islam more. I'm on
Islam more.
I'm looking at this right here, bro. I know my pages is falling off because I really go in. It's interesting how constellation is right before constitution in encyclopedia here. But to finish up this portion right here, though, and I yield to the more to both of y'all to hear you speak. So when they go into the citizen and of the United States, when we look at the Constitution, right, it's two different parties being spoken about in the preamble. You have the United States, and then you have the United States of America, because the United States is doing something for the United States of America. That's why in the closing statement it says, do ordain and establish this Constitution for. That means you're doing it, for someone that couldn't obviously do it on their own. So that shows that that's a grant. You know what I mean? Like that's like the book Unto Thee I Grant. It's in the same spirit, so to speak, sort of, just in principle. So United States would be, as I'm thinking, because it's, again, capital U, capital S, a body pertaining to some proper persons, a group pertaining to beings that are in propria persona su juris y su heredis, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state, right? So it almost looks like this is a statement in declaring and proclaiming your nationality, because one who is the United States, and if they are the ones in propria persona su juris, and a citizen is really speaking about your status, right, what your state is, then there's nationality in that statement right there. And I'm open to be corrected. I'm definitely open to be corrected. And then it says, shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state. Now, there's a all capital right there, right? Now, in which he shall be chosen, right? So it almost sounds like this is chapter 28, 29 right here. When one is raised to sovereign power by his equals, when he's attained to the state of majority, or the age pertaining to majority. And again, I'm open for correction. But this is what's actually briefed in our nationality card from RV Bay publication.
That sounds like a sign of a republic, form of government, But I just came on here to tip my hat to you and Grand Sheik, Cujo. Y'all put me onto this information, about 5 years ago, man. And I remember watching you, Hassan, on Todd's videos breaking down that astrology. And I'm telling you, man, like the energy, it's contagious, man. From watching that, got me pushing out here, man. Expanding that energy, man.
Islam.
So I wanted to come on here and tip my hat and say Islam.
Islam more.
All the praise to you, man.
Honors to you.
Honors to you.
Honors to you. You know, because you already know how it goes. We don't take and not give back. You know.
Absolutely.
And over the years, like we used to talk about with Jamal and Juju, with the two people in the room or whatever.
Islam.
Yeah.
two people in the room, and then 5 years later, you know, you have a body of Moors that you could rely on for some stuff. You know what I mean?
Islam.
Yeah.
So it's good to see the progression happening as far as the waking up of the people based on, you know, Moors being themselves in their respective territories, you know, and like you're saying, channeling that energy or putting that energy out, and Moors out there receiving the energy and getting back in tune with the brothers and sisters. So it's always good to see, you know, after a certain period of time, certain jurisdictions of Moors where we know that there's Moors there that's been playing around or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some Moors step up and some things are happening relative to the people actually becoming more competent, not just Moors for show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, I appreciate, you know, just keep doing what you're doing, man. You know,
Yeah.
and just promote that structure, man, and make our people, man, force our people to be disciplined, man. When it come down to it, they don't want no order, they don't want no structure. When it come down to it, man, like, you know, the facts is out there, the laws is out there, man. You know, like we in the Aquarian age, man. It ain't no more excuses, man. So keep pulling that scimitar out, man.
Straight.
Islam.
You already know more. Islam.
Islam, it's in my hat.
Islam.
Peace, more.
Happy with y'all, Islam.
Tip the feds as well. Beloved
Honors to you.
Islam.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. I was Brother Cujo is and again, being open for correction, just want to get down to the bottom of this bracket right here, right? Because like I said, I'm trusting that this is what I saw even in my first year in the nationality card. Because, you know, like I said, man, I much rather.
I mean, from the perspective of that,
Mm-hmm.
from the perspective of what they're doing, you know what I mean? Like, for example, you know, Declaration of Independence is our authority.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And you know, by the time they get to United States, that's more Science Temple.
Correct.
And then now they're moving forward as a body politic. And then any state who wants to join in, that'll be people who would have gotten a charter. So from the perspective that you know, the process of setting up the United States, quote unquote, republic form of government was them establishing themselves. You know, they got permission from the heirs of the land. The heirs of the land gave them a little, you know, so much ever colonies, you know, stay at the eastern seaboard, you'll be all right. You know, people had different plans. So it's where it's at now. But it always goes back to the Constitution and all that stuff is for them. That's not our stuff.
Correct.
So that's just them emulating what we would do.
Correct. Whereas
them taking what we would do and applying it to themselves in order for them to have freedom, equality, justice, or whatever else that people are claiming that they want in their life, especially people who are abused or whatever.
Islam.
Yeah.
Islam. Because I will say that in what you just even said right now, and being able to look at the Constitution, I am able to comprehend the underlying principle throughout it. while at the same time
Yeah.
recognizing that it is a document that is giving just solely permission from just sanguineous heirs. Is that correct? Did I just say that correct?
Right. Yeah. Straight.
Alrighty. So even when the word being a dual-edged sword, one could be able to, because it's I'll say this. Yes, it really depends on people's state, because a lot of times they will be moved out of their state in a teleportative fashion, provided the jurisdiction isn't comprehended when spoken to. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, if someone says, oh, well, you're being disruptive in the class. And it's like, am I being disruptive in the class, or is this a chat box? Can you imagine you guys chatting right now in the chat box, and we're going over this? I am Brother Cujo, and Brother Cujo speaking on the nationality card, right? And I just wanted to say, okay, look, when you were going over the nationality card, these things are solid to make us not have to go and do processes. These things are here for us to see that, hey, here's the underlying principles. However, this is what we can do to just be ourselves, stand on our square when people try to come and accost us of anything. All right. So cool. Yeah, there's a lesson going on. Brother Cujo sharing the lesson. I asked, could I assist? Just briefly. Great. Can you imagine someone telling you guys in the chat, you're disrupting the class? Can you stop texting? Can you guys imagine that? But this is online. Where you are is in a venue where that's what this is for. It's a chat box. Yeah. You're supposed to chat. Do you know what I mean? Because that's how this jurisdiction, or this particular, well, no, jurisdiction, it is. This is a jurisdiction where there's a chat box that is non-disruptive and is meant to be able to promote community, which is a compound term, communication, unity. Right?
Yeah, the only way someone would say that the chat box is disruptive is if that's where their focus is at, opposed to the lesson.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Correct.
Because there's people out there who are gonna say that, or the people who some mother who doesn't have a sitter brings their heir to class, and the heir's crying, and then, well, you gotta take, we can't hear, and all that stuff. That shut up. The heir is in the class. What's disruptive about that?
Correct.
The heir's in the class. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about places like at our spot where you can take them somewhere else. Nobody's gonna sit there with their heir crying if they could remove them to not cause a disruption. Nobody's that bold. But
to wrap up, to add to your wisdom, because I do have a second thing I want to add to you without going into detail, but pertaining to something that I sent you in email. So I'll mention it in a brief way, but I'll wait till after we go over this. Representatives, right? This is where, I comprehend where we're not, quote unquote, taxed, because where it even mentions representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states. So in my head already, I'm looking at the underlying principle, which is what I've been doing the whole time with what I've been saying. Let me just be clear and disclose fully. So it just shows here that this is not something that is taken care of by a singular sentient being on their own, right? Shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included, right, within this union. So it's referring to a union. And I remember one time Anna Ida had did a class. I wasn't sure if it was a sister standing on law or a Wednesday class. And she was like, how do you guys not comprehend she said, how do y'all don't comprehend this, union thing, and here's State of the Union, and you're coming from jobs where you're part of a union. How are you not making the correlation? Yeah. I didn't want to laugh, but it's actually kind of funny to kind of
Yeah.
like, all right, so according to their respective numbers, so obviously they're going over, you know, an amount, and this goes to the body politic thing that you're saying, Brother Cujo. Okay, so if there's a group of Moors, right, and let's say like, you know, and yes, everyone is closer physically within a 5-mile radius, that is an immediate body politic. I do not, because I'm an astrologer. But that does not mean if anyone has any thinking different, Brother Cujo, you have any other perspective different, that doesn't mean I'm in disagreement, nor that I can't look for the best in what's being said and give the best in what I'm saying. I usually look at people on 3 levels. I looked at them on their causal plane, which is spirit, their astral plane, which is soul, and their physical plane, right? Their material, so to speak, as it's called. So it's like when looking at these things, it's like, alrighty. When you're looking at what it is that we're doing as a people, even though maybe a group of Moors, you guys are not so close, you know what I mean? Let's take the astrology firm, for example. However, we all have the charge, in order to change the people, you must change their literature, and where we are respectively physically, do what we can do within our, you know, respective communities. I have shared with, you know, my brothers, and I've invited them to community association meetings as far as my community, so they can actually see how people that quote unquote so-called work in these de facto corporations, and there's a ton of them, who are in these community meetings. You know, a lot of things I don't publicize. You know what I mean? I do a lot. I know we do a lot of TikTok, and it looks like we're some thirsty content creators. Man, we do so much work outside of this metaversing that, you know, it actually motivates us to come back to the metaverse, so to speak, or to this internet stuff, to be able to like, okay, this is what's going on in our neighborhoods. We're having these meetings, you know, and they're actual meetings with congressmen in them, you know what I mean? And so-called mayors and former mayors or whatever, right? These de factos. So long story short, Brother Cujo, I want you to finish going in on the nationality card, and then I wanted to kind of go in on why you even kind of been letting them have it. And I want to go in on that email. So I'm gonna yield the floor there, bro. Islam.
Oh, if you want, you can go there right now.
On that email.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go in on the email. All right. So I'm not gonna really share it, y'all. I'm gonna turn this camera for right now or whatever, but I'm gonna turn this page though to these constellations real quick while I'm speaking on this, because it's apropos. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I used to before I got my little telescope app. I used to take my little encyclopedia outside to go look at the constellations, yo. So I'm about to share this with y'all. All right, so 2 seconds. All right, so this is why I think it's really important for everybody that's here to really, like, you know, I know people got the mindset, yo, I'm grown, I do what I want to do. Like Brother Cujo started off the live, you know, we're Moors, we got our nationality, we can do what we want to do. Cool, right? The thing is now that I'm actually interacting with an international platform, by me being a part of 2 astrology associations, and it's remote, so I'm not physically around these people. However, I am corresponding and interacting with them via email and portal through the Zoom. And Brother Cujo and Mother Rashida Bey, the Sayaraha of the Great Sale National Association for Moorish Affairs, I make sure with what my activities that go on, especially when they're not frivolous or something that seems like it may waste their time, I make sure that I forward them the correspondences, because the members of these astrology associations are making decisions in your guys' lives. Alrighty. And to now, would you say, Brother Cujo, the email that I sent you would definitely make people have their eyes wide open? Yes or no? Maybe.
No, I don't know. I never got the email. That's why I was saying they could do the email.
Oh, really? You sure you didn't?
Which one? Which?
I forwarded to you. It was about
the screen.
Yeah, check, yo. If you could check it on your phone or
no,
something right now or whatever.
No, I can't. I'm on the phone on the thing.
Okay. I thought you saw it. Well, you got it though. All right. So the email, it basically was, speaking on, my experience thus far. And I'm enjoying the experience. However, what I've recognized is that I think that Moors have been really thought to be sleep. And so not only am I able to interact with these people directly, and now they're even responding, also, but I look at them, yes, respectfully, because I'm taking my place amongst the affairs of men, and it is an international platform because the board members are across the planet. Sometimes when I'm in these classes, my people that are the astrologers that are giving their lectures are either near Australia, continent, Great Britain, so to speak, Finland, Turkey, near Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like, just it's real out here, guys, and people are watching us. They really are watching. Not only are they watching, there are people already in these astrological societies that are Moorish Americans. It just so happens to me, I'm thinking that there hasn't been people that have the heart to enforce the prophet's mission. And now that I've been corresponding on an international scale, it's really had me pull back a little bit in watching how, you know what I mean, we're really doing what we're doing. So for things to transpire and to bring up the nationality card, security party creditor stuff, and then to be around people where, like, yeah, throughout the, regular cycle, I'm kicking it with you guys on the internet. Hey, yo, yeah, this is fun. Oh, we're on the phone. Or people I'm around physically. Hey, bro, what's up? What's going on? Cool. But when I'm going to school, when I'm doing this astrology school, like, in a given day, I can get a lecture from somebody, like it'd be 4 people. One's here, one's near Turkey, or 2 near Turkey, one's near Great Britain, one's near Australia. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, these people are real and they are watching. And I got to give a shout out to one in particular, Alicia Youssef. She actually started out, you know what I mean? Because I got to admit, I make myself known. And usually when somebody like kind of start discriminating in a kind of way, I ain't going to say that's what happened. I just think it was just a misunderstanding. You know what I mean? Until, we started sending them videos and showing who 7 Hill Star Astrology is, showing them that we really are firm, that it's about, putting Prophet Noble Drali in the forefront. We're not trying to shove Prophet Noble Drali down your throat. However, you know what I mean? I know that, in a lot of societies, people be real liberal with certain things, and I'm a whole man. I don't want to hear about what you do with other men in the bedroom, and you a man and I come to learn astrology. I'm not knocking your lectures and shit, but if that's what you gonna be, yo, I'm so gay. It's like, okay, cool. I'm so Moorish American then. Let's shout that out here internationally then. Because this is an international platform that has the mother flag in the top right-hand corner of their ethics and bylaws. And we are the mothers and fathers of civilization. And we are the ones that should be directing how these things are going by our countenance and the way that we act. Am I wrong, Brother Cujo? I want to stop right there to be corrected.
No, but just like the U.S. stuff, that's their jurisdiction, so they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do. That's their conference or their whatever. They're gonna have whoever they want run that or speak or whatever the case is. So in most cases, like what you're talking about, the boat has left the dock.
Exactly.
We're going in late. There should have been that for Moors. That Moors are going to their own.
Yeah, there you go. That's where
to
I
learn
was
about
going
astrology
with that.
or
My pardons. Go ahead. My pardons, bro. That's where I was really about to end up at. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I yield.
Yeah, I mean, just like for everybody has barbecues. Moors said, no, we want our own barbecue. So now we do our own barbecue every year. We don't go to these people's barbecue. Maybe we could have our own and have our vegan stuff and know that the meat didn't touch the vegan stuff and all that stuff. You know what I mean? We're good with our own thing.
So let me.
It's just finding the foundational people, who are gonna pro bono the establishment of whatever it is.
Correct. Which is
like I don't get paid to be Grand Chief or whatever.
Correct.
I should be getting $300 a year. All the BS that you gotta deal with as a Grand Chief shouldn't even be anything. That should just be what it is. And every day your work is your missionary work, and that's at the temple 9 to 5.
That's wow.
Whatever position it is that we have, just like United Way is going to pay their president $1 million a year.
Correct.
And you're not going to tell them that they can't.
Correct.
You know, because that's their own stuff that they could do what they want.
Correct.
With their finance, their energy, their whatever. And if we are involved in their things and certain stuff come up that's not really in our jurisdiction like that,
be yourself.
It's just I mean,
be yourself.
Don't try to tell me that don't try to tell me that I can't yell Moorish American.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
You know? It's all of that right there is a level of unity, Brother Cujo, that's when you are enforcing Bill of Right 1 and Bill of Right 4, because you're allowing everyone to be, you know, you're allowing everyone to express themselves. Let's call it expression, no matter whether it's religious, speech, press, you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. That's Bill of Right 1. And then Bill of Right 4 for them to be secure in their person, houses, papers, and effects. That's fine. That's great. What we're not going to do, though, is diminish anyone that's saying it. As long as no one is encroaching upon anyone's peace and creating a corpus delicti, we're all good. Say what you want. You know what I'm saying? Especially if, you know, keep it kind. So yes, that's how I'm even looking at it. Like, okay, so yes.
That's just where it's at this time.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Certain times, you know, in certain time frames, when certain people talk, they got a bottle to the head.
Correct.
Because, you know, we don't want to hear any of that. You know, we're not in that conversation.
Correct.
You know, because that's not a way of life.
Correct.
You know, not promoting violence or anything like that. We're just saying that in a certain time frame, you could not get away with things. Right?
Correct.
Like you couldn't get away with the pants as low as they are now when we were in high school. Somebody's pulling you up. Grandma's gonna be pulling you up. Some mom that's just out there seeing you, she's gonna pull you up. You're just gonna be doing whatever you want. But you know, in this time it seems like people could do whatever they want and say whatever they want. And then you just have to accept it and whatever. All right, fine. If that's the case, then don't get mad when I say what I want.
Correct. That's it. Hey,
don't get upset. Don't get you know, overwhelmed. Don't get you know what I'm saying, because you know everybody has the right. And if you're gonna say what you want, then you can't get mad when I say what I want. Once we're not violating anybody's rights or anything like that, then you know, you could say what you want. Just don't get mad.
So can I say something that I want? Then should I address the chat then now, Brother Cujo, or should I just continue to ignore it?
What's that?
Should I address the chat now, or should I just continue to ignore it?
Address the with who? Oh no, I see the Moors have that goofball in there. The Moors in the chat already shimmitard.
I'll leave it alone then.
Yeah, he already shimmitard, and that's probably one of those Moor haters that made a Moor page. Like that's not a sincere L.
Oh.
And that's not a sincere L. That's a European with a Moorish name or something like that.
Oh wow.
Just by the stuff that they're saying.
Got you.
You know what I mean? The language that they're using, is not dirty Moore's language.
Got you. All right, got you. I feel you on
That's
that.
a European. That's a European with a That's a European with a IG pretending to be a L.
All right. Well,
to cause the confusion and all that.
all right. Well, let's continue to ignore them and stay on putting Prophet Noble Drew Ali in the forefront and the basis of why the nationality card is important. You know what I mean? And so, pardon me. I know, man. I got a lot of marked up stuff, right? I just think that this was important. And paragraph 2 is paramount in the Moorish leaders. That's an apostrophe S, meaning there's only one historical message to America. So the Moorish leaders, historical message to America, and I am open for correction because the Moorish leader is Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
No, there's no other that I know.
All right, I just want to make sure because I'm always open for correction in the public, and this is I trust that me being what I'm being, which is myself, encourages others to not be shy to be corrected, especially when we're doing it in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, being gentle. You know, unless, you know, you got to be in private and be like, hey, bro, what the fuck is really wrong with you type shit. But, you know, let's not, you know, that's not what's happening here. Okay, we organize. So right there, that just shows me there's nothing involved but people, but sentient beings, right? And then there's a conjunction now because there's the word and. Right, and it's a conjunction, right? And in astrology, conjunction is like two planets that are together. When it's a new moon, the moon and the sun is in the same space. That's called a conjunction, right? So conjunction astrologically is the moon and the sun together, calling it a new moon. And conjunction grammatically is the word and, but, or, all right? We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science. Brother Cujo has a museum. Brother Cujo, is Moorish Temple of Science here? Could we also say is Moorish Holy Temple of Science?
Yeah.
Alrighty. In the year 1925. And so here's the conjunction. Here's the we don't really need this. However, there's a legally incorporated. Okay, so we organized and we were, right, legally incorporated as the Moorish Science Symbol of America, right, as a civic organization. So legal, now please correct me if I'm wrong again, bro. Legal incorporation is like you taking your water, however, pouring it in the state of Illinois' bottle. I'm here to stand corrected in my concept. Because it's saying legally incorporated as a civic organization, right? So if that's the case, if it's dealing with law, it's like, okay, when we look at the 805 ILCS, it refers us back to public law 1872. 1871, 1872, but I'm open again. I'm open for correction. All righty, I'm open for correction. All right.
That was just what had to be done.
Correct.
In order for it to manifest.
And I'm not saying that by it being the wording saying legally incorporated as a civic organization, this legal incorporation does not supersede the inception, because it
was pre the incorporation. It was civic.
Correct. And in Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, under spelling, if we were to look at the principle pertaining to spelling, which would be here at the top, supersedes. Intent. Pardon me. Let me take that back. Intent. Here's the intent. The intent is before the and it supersedes how it's been spelled in legal corporation. Can I say that, Brother Cujo?
No, I mean, the point is that it's a civic organization still.
Correct.
Even if it's incorporated.
Yes. Yeah.
Regardless of the incorporation, it's still a civic organization.
Yes, that's the point I was making right there.
Because the activity was civic from the start.
Period.
Now it's just civic, so that these people could recognize that it's civic.
Well, let me say it like
in their realm, in their arena, state of whatever.
Got you.
County of whatever.
Got you.
There is their arena. This how they do stuff here, or are we going to do stuff like that in that arena? Oh, this arena, religious arena, this how do it. Okay, well, we're going to do that in this arena.
Gotcha.
Because he was covering all the bases, so that anybody could get in from anywhere. Religious people could get in; they could be Moorish Science Temple. Civic-minded people could get in; they could be Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Active-minded people could get in and be the Moorish Nation.
Islam.
There was a place set up for everybody to bring whatever it is that they have, as well as whatever inspires them. You know, for women, there was Sisters Auxiliary. That was for them.
Islam.
To be inspired to be part of the movement.
Islam.
You know, so the legal incorporation were for those who were there in that mind frame, in that state.
Got you.
They can feel welcome because it's a civic organization. And then the humanitarian people would feel welcome, and the Rotarian people would feel welcome,
yes.
and the religious people would feel welcome,
yes.
and the corporate people would feel welcome. He set it up so everybody could be part of it, so everybody could be involved in whatever avenue, venue, you know, jurisdiction they're most comfortable with. But then people got stuck in their position. So you have people 2020, they're in the religious part, but they're singing hymns opposed to enforcing the religious right. Like how the Sikhs do.
Correct.
The Sikhs didn't get their power to wear their turban because it's their religious. They sued people. And people said, oh, if you're going to go that far, then you could keep your turban on. Even if you're a highwayman, we'll just put the badge on your turban. They went to Supreme Court for that. The Sikhs out here.
Islam.
I think it was 60s. They went to Supreme Court to be able to wear their turban because they were getting discriminated against. They were exercising their religious right.
Correct.
You know,
Civic.
but our people got stuck in it. Yeah. You know, our people got stuck in the religious, and then now we're just religious people. Or then some people got stuck in the civic, and now they're a lawyer, attorney, and they're working for the courts to bring people in there as bounty men. Right, Aaron Payne and them people.
Wow. Civic organization, right? So civic, pertaining to a city or citizen. I know some people will be like, what? Oh, what? No, I want to share my measure because I see beauty in the principle underlying this. Or to citizenship, which takes me to nationality, because nationality, for me, it's like this. For me, nationality is not a type of citizenship. I think, and I'm going to ask my brother to correct me, I think citizenship is trying to fit nationality within it because it supersedes that. It's almost like, oh, you're a national? Oh, okay, well, his citizenship status is we can't fuck with it. Now, I stand to be corrected, brother.
But if we go to the filings with CMB, they had his citizenship as Moorish American.
Correct.
So, you know, if they're listing his citizenship as that, Is it because that's what it is, or is that because they didn't have a nationality part to put it? So because they had a citizenship part, that's what they're putting. If it was somebody else, they might put, you know, United States, or they might put American. But for him, Moorish American was there as citizenship.
I mean, that's what I, you know, I mean, that's the point I was kind of like making. So for me, let me speak for myself. If someone was to ask me my state pertaining to my quote unquote citizenship, then I've gone back as far as my state is back to that mine pertaining to my ancient foremothers and forefathers. So therefore, I'm Moorish American. Period. That's just what it is for me, you know. And I'm doing that based off of when I go into these books and look at things like this. Do you know? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then go here and I'm looking to really comprehend why my nationality card is all the brief that I need, that I have an American allodial national identification card. Yes, I got mine from RV Bay Publications. After having that, I'm able to go into further studies pertaining to my nationality card with the brief that's on there to further affirm and make firm my position in my mind that pertains to my zodiac constitution and my divine constitution. And then when I'm dealing with any other jural societies, because look, when you're looking at citizen, right? Because I told you we was going to be in the 310 and 311, right? Citizen, I'm just going to go all the way over here because we were talking about incorporation, right? And I'm going to show you how some people will probably take this and miss something and try to compare what Prophet Noble Drew Ali did here and try to mix it with this. But there's some words there that you got to pay attention to. A corporation is a citizen. Now watch this. I love this part right here, y'all. It's what me, Brother Corey, and Brother Terrell's got going over earlier today. A corporation is a citizen of state under whose laws it is created and a non-resident of every other state. Now, let's just take that real quick. The key terms is under laws it is created. Here, it is incorporated. It's not created. So back to my point is that this is showing how Prophet Noble Drew Ali is doing an allodial move. This is allodial right here. It was created when we organized. And that's the state under the laws in which the Moorish Holy Temple of Science was created. And then there was legal incorporation. And then there was a legal requirement by Lewis Lincoln Emerson to adopt as the corporate name, even though it says changed here. Moorish Holy Temple of Science after legal incorporation, because it was created when we organized. So that's separate from anything de facto, anything commercial. However, let me shut up.
That's why majority of the people who claimed to be Moorish Science Temple of America kept it corporate, kept the activity corporate to the point of today. Even the corporate jurisdictions are only going to recognize the Moors like that.
But that's foolishness, because we just now, if I'm being foolish, we're going to see that Brother Hassan's being foolish in front of 33 people right now, and I'm open to correction, because I think a lot of brothers have too much pride. So let me be an example then. All right, like Kanye said, we all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it. Okay, so here we go. A corporation is a citizen of state. Brother Cujo asked, just ask them what's their state. Okay. If it happened when we organized, then that means these people that are saying they're Moorish Science Temple of America have removed themselves from office according to 805 ILCS 110 section 40. I'll go get it. I'm not just going to.
No, but they actually removed themselves by not doing their job. Forget the 805.
Oh, but
forget the religious
like
corporation.
Though, Brother Cujo, it beats conversation.
Forget that's the Corporations Act. That's not the authority.
But they've been corporate, right? Ain't that what they've been corporate, right? Corporate.
Yeah, well, because it's corporate doesn't mean that the act applies, especially if it's civic in its nature.
Aren't they implying that they are an institution that has an adopted corporate name from a civic organization that organized its creation was under an organization that was
but remember that the corporation that they're using is religious, it's not civic.
Correct.
The incorporation that they're talking about is the religious.
Correct.
When they say we're Moorish Science Temple of America, that's just like Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints talking.
Correct.
Right? Correct. So they're gonna go with the whole thing of our authority and Moorish leaders, and then they stop at Moorish Science Temple as if that's the whole thing. That's not the whole thing. That was just going on for some months before Drew Ali transitioned.
Exactly.
So that can't be the all and be all if there was years of activity before this thing happening in 28.
Thank you, Brother Cujo.
There had to be something happening before, which is what we're seeing with the incorporation of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, or Moorish Temple of Science, whatever they're gonna say. Right? But there was a pre-Moorish Science Temple of America that was also incorporated, but prior to that incorporation, there was activity.
Correct. You are correct. So
when he started checking them on, well, how come you're not doing this? How come you're not doing that? Why are you uplifting fallen humanity? Why are you whatever? Because they're a church. That's not their job. Their job is to keep the people dumb, just like all the other religious institutions are supposed to.
Well, that's our Article 7 in Zodiac Constitution.
The purpose is to keep the people. Yeah, the purpose is to keep the people away from being awakened, being enlightened.
That's what you just.
They need the people to
right there
to see. They need the people to see that it's a religious corporation, and that we have a Quran, which is our holy book, and we sing hymns to Noble Drew Ali because we know that he's our Jesus and whatever. Those are Christians. That's not Moorish Science Temple. That's Christians with a sign that says Moorish Science Temple of America. Because they're supposed to go to those that know law and go to City Hall and all that.
Correct.
And the only way they're going to City Hall is when they're going to go get a proclamation to be Morocco Day or whatever. Or when they want to run for office, democracy. Then they're going to go to City Hall and put up their flyers and their posters and all that.
So do you encourage
trying to be the mayor?
Do you encourage
of a corpse?
Do you encourage Moors to make it like how we don't mind when it's warm outside, go and grab a basketball and go down and shoot some hoops? Should we do that with the city hall? Just be like, oh, woo, let me brush my teeth, wash my face,
you're not
man, and
going
go down
for
to city hall just because
yeah,
it's a Tuesday.
you're not going for anything other than to hear what they're up to. You're not going there for because that's unless it's like some type of we're calling you because we're giving out whatever to whoever comes to this meeting. Then yeah, you go there, get your whatever it is that they're giving, land, houses, whatever. But if it's city council, you're going there just to sit in to see what these people are up to. They're the people who are supposed to be running the municipality that we domicile near. So it would be good to know what they're doing.
I totally dig it. And that's what you was talking about earlier right there. What was going on before, So a lot of, because in some books it'll say,
But also too, remember that City Hall in Drew Ali's time and City Hall now is two different city halls.
Now, you having the museum, brother, I'm going to ask the question for everyone. What was the City Hall like in Prophet Noble Drew Ali's time?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I know it ain't the City Hall that they got right now. I know that.
How would we go about finding out what a City Hall was like when Prophet Noble Drew Ali was on the scene?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would have no bearing on now. So knowing isn't gonna. How was City Hall back then? Well, they used to, whatever they used to do. Okay, it's just info, it's just data.
So
it's not like you're gonna pull them up on some. Well, you used to do this and back then or whatever. They're a corpse now. They're democracy. They've been doing their stuff their fraudulent way, and that's where they're gonna be going. That's the direction they're going in.
So that's why you said earlier, the thing is, like, in terms of that, I'm gonna just use that example with the land conveyance earlier, where he was like, yeah, that's why, it's about not registering with corporate jurisdictions, because that's where you give jurisdiction. Whereas if you have, for example, like, okay, I'll speak my actual experience at one point in time that I actually had in assisting. Someone wanted to transact for something via, some internet transaction for a land conveyance. It was a transaction made, bill of sale written up, and the land conveyance writ, Moorish land conveyance writ, and that Moor is still riding around, However, it was done, I can see, in the spirit, where there was no, means to be slick about it. It was sincere, like, okay, I comprehend I have this bill of sale. I comprehend that, I'm giving my due diligence as far as when I'm operating here. And if anything,
because that was before the muddy waters.
Correct.
That was before the insincere started coming in with their stuff, speaking in certain subject matter.
Correct.
And causing confusion and tainting it. Like we said in 2008, the Moors near Mecca, they had fleets. It wasn't just one Moor.
Correct.
It wasn't just one Moor with their own tags. 2008 when we went to Mecca. There were every Moor's conveyance was tagged up with Moorish tags. That's just what it was. You know what I mean? They had it locked up. They weren't gonna have any issues with any highwaymen about anything because there was nothing contradictory to it. That was it. There was no other example.
Correct. Well, the only reason they're adjudicating upon people anyway out here, Brother Cujo, it's so funny because Brother Todd just put it out so many times, man, that I think is missed so many times, that, people aren't comprehending that the reason why Brother Taj has put out so much information and so many lectures, and you and so many other Moors have backed this stance, which is ultimately backing Prophet Noble Drew Ali, is because we're not members called or termed federal employees on federal land. A lot of people, when they're doing these corporate commercial things, I think that's not comprehended. Every claim against you by these policy enforcers, those claims are really only to govern their behaviors. So they're actually left the burden of proof to prove that you're a federal employee working and on federal land, which is really the basis of everything that they're doing in their de facto operations. It's just that the people have not taken the time to fully comprehend that, even in like the charged affairs that that Brother Todd shares about these people have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that we're not Moorish. So when you have to prove that we're not Moorish, what we're saying is prove your claim beyond a shadow of a doubt. Prove that I'm someone that's a federal employee who really can't really be that till I'm 25. We just got finished reading Article 1 in the Constitution. I'm not 25, and if I'm 17 years old behind the wheel and you're trying to write me any type of ticket or anything like that, that's actual treason and a violation of your oath to defend the Constitution against all violators, foreign and domestic. But we're not having conversations like this as a people normally. You know what I'm saying? And
but then the other side of it is that 17-year-old better be qualified, because they just stole their pop's conveyance with the Moorish tag to ride around, and they're violating. Correct.
However, that's what I'm saying. If they have the permission to do that, right?
Yeah.
If they're in alignment and they're traveling, and a federal agent who is the only one who is supposed to be pulled over and written a ticket, not the people. The people aren't supposed to be getting that treatment, but the people don't know to defend themselves by saying, prove to me I'm a federal agent on federal land. That's really what this is really all about. But so many people get caught up in commerce that, not being fully on your nationality first, you won't come across these gems that Iron Brother Cujo are speaking on right now in these moments, because you get these types of things when you're just being who you are, and you get a call from another Moor that's like, hey man, I'm studying this, or a mother that's sincerely studying, and she goes, hey, let me bounce these concepts off of you, and then that make you go back in your notes and you go, holy shit, this Moor just helped me connect another dot. They done helped me complete the puzzle. Now you think it's, oh, I'm sitting here reading. Yes, that is how it is. We do sit, we do read. Sometimes though, you'll be on the toilet taking a shit and you'll have an unvelation pop in your mind. Pardon my language, but I mean it. I mean it. There'll be something to drop on your head and you're like, oh my goodness, I really am not in their jurisdiction. The whole time they're running federal jurisdiction games. That's why we're saying the Constitution,
or municipal jurisdiction games. Correct. or state jurisdiction games, or hospital jurisdiction games, or workplace jurisdiction games, or whatever it is.
Which technically, if we're reserving our rights appropriately, we're not members to those things. We're only participating by way of conduit. And what I mean by way of conduit, I mean, like, it's, man, I'm not being vulgar, because everybody's gotten here.
No, don't do it if you're going to, don't say it if you're going to be vulgar.
No, it's not vulgar. It's like putting all rights reserved is the condom in contracting. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the protection.
Yeah, so
that's the shoes, so you're walking over glass.
Correct. Or
it's the work boots, it's the Timbs.
Right. Or the
Timbs of construction.
Correct. Or the cover over your shoes while you're walking in the mud, so you don't get your Air Forces dirty.
The Air Force is dirty. A little plastic cover, whatever.
Yes. So with that being said, that's why I'm like, you're completely correct. When Brother Cujo be like, And we give brothers opportunities to correct their position. And a lot of times I ask Brother Cujo, like, and I don't care. I'll say it out loud, but I'll call you, bro, and be like, yo, G, check me, yo, is my concepts wrong on this? I do that with you, Brother Taj, my Rashida, like, because I always want to make sure, like, I know I got these concepts, but I need to make sure I'm still within the bounds of righteousness as far as it not seeming too radical. However, that's why I'm sharing what I'm sharing now, because good Mother Oracle will call me and be like, yeah, we're not federal employees, so now I really do get it even more, this and that, and as we're bouncing concepts off, I'm just like, yeah, man, if the people only knew that the whole argument is I'm not a federal employee, but at the end of the day, you can't be out here being ratchet, boom, Quisha, and Pookie, and Ray Ray either, because this is the spirit of the law must be on your dial plate. You know what I'm saying? I was watching, like, for example, Brother Kush yesterday before, because I was breaking my fast, and sometimes whichever Moors are live or whatever, I watch them. So Brother Kush was live, and he was live with another, I don't know who the young lady was. I mean, the mother was. I don't like saying lady. Lady is like, you're laying her down. She's a laid E. We're the laid she's a laid E. But anyway, I digress from that. He was saying that, in a moment when he was dealing with something, right? And so it just, Spirit caught this story of Brother Kush telling it. And he's like, yo, my heart was pounding, in the moment or whatever. In that moment, my heart was pounding. And, these two policy enforcers is ready to, assert themselves as far as trying to, adjudicate upon my life's energy in the form that they do. The first form in which they adjudicate is, abducting the body, detaining and abducting the body. And he was basically saying, man, long story short, there's no element of a crime here. There's no corpus delicti here, man. And he's like, the policy enforcer that was the Albion's son, if I'm recalling Brother Cush's story correctly, he let his arm go. And just was basically, but what happened was in that moment, despite Brother Kush saying, his heart pounding out his chest, he just got started, but that was the moment where he knew it was on. I think he quoted being 6 years ago that, in that moment, that's when he realized, that's when the spirit of the law on his dial plate, no documentation. He didn't say, hold on, let me get some stamps.
No card.
Yeah, let me get some stamps
no
in the
card,
envelope and write this down for you first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no nothing. Fresh, young, fresh, and green.
Yeah. So that's when I realized, like, when we continue having these conversations like this right here, Brother Cujo, you sparked it with the nationality card thing. And I'm just like, bro, it really is all we really need. It's just, I realize that we don't have a lot of conversation like this, bro. Like, me and you just rapping, this how we be on, like on the phone. I'm saying, like, me, brother Corey, you know what I mean, and all the rest of the brothers, Terrell, Sean, Benjamin, like, whoever, any more I can speak to, even when I speak to you, and go over certain things. Because sometimes the concepts for me and you, it really be just, you know what I mean, me making sure I'm not, loving on the wrong people, because we know I embrace people, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I'd be like, damn, I hope I'm not embracing some goofies, man. You know what I mean? That's really on some bullshit. You know what I mean? And so a lot of times, you'll let me know, see what happens when you're embracing people like this. And like, yeah, man, all right, cool. See what that is. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here looking for the bestest in others, and they ain't got no best to really give, but I was looking. But anyway, I yield the floor to you more. Islam.
Yeah, more. Islam. Yeah, on that note, honors to all the Moors worldwide.
I'm a yield, bro. I thank you so much, bro. I'm a yield, so I'm gonna let you close up.
Yo, thank you, Mark. Give thanks for the build. You already know.
Yes, brother. Islam, Morris.
Islam.
Let's see where this exit thing is. How I exit out this joint?
I got you.
You got me? All right, good.
I think so. I think I should have
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I got you. Please. Yep. Right. No Moorish unity. Be more Cali, Canaanland, Mecca. No Moorish unity. No Moorish unity, but Moors everywhere. Learning, growing, evolving. This is what this is about. Oh, in regard to the ID, we'll close on this. In addition to the national ID, We offer the travel card and student card. In fact, in law, if you do not have the preferred ID of the asker, you can present 2 other ID, which is sufficient. Many of the rules and thoughts people utilize in regard to IDs based on the fact that they do not have a national ID. In the absence of a national ID, they have commonly accepted a birth certificate and/or driver's license. Those instruments are commonly accepted because one does not have a national ID. And as stated before, a state cannot offer you a national ID, and a corporation cannot offer you one either. Isn't Matt D a corporation with a CEO? Huh? How's a corporation giving you national ID? Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Oh yeah. Also, can't forget this either. I'm glad I remembered. Also, so we see the mother put up today, or yesterday or something, that Brother Quinn got his bail. Now, I swear, now, from what I understand, they went to all the Moors, went to the hearing to get their bail. Right? Some Moors got their bail or out already. Some Moors still kidnapped, can't even get a hearing yet still. But it's interesting because I was watching this thing, Office of Dr. G or something. And then there were some consulate guys on there. And then consulate guys are talking as if they're exercising some consular or whatever to help Brother Quinn. Like, how are they doing some consulate thing to help Brother Quinn when people were sending finance to Cash App to get bail? Now, bail shouldn't be an issue if the consulate's taken over, right? If the consulate's running the show and they're the ones that have the jurisdiction to get people released and all that stuff, then how come people are paying bail? Did they set the bail up? And then if they set the bail up, why don't they just go on Dr. G and say, hey, we got Brother Quinn bail. Could you send some finance so we can bail him out? How come they just do that? It's just interesting how consulate, is there to assist the people in all this. And they're the ones saving people's properties and all this because they got all this stuff. But they just didn't do like the Moors did. Just say, hey, the Moors got bail. Could you donate to the Cash App so that we can help them get them released? Why are they pretending like they got some type of superior power with these colonists when they don't? With their badge that they bought from a Chinese guy. Find me a sheriff around here that sells his badges. You could just go buy a badge. You don't even have to claim to be law enforcement. You don't even have to claim to be Black Fez. Oh yeah, just go over there and just buy a badge from them. It says free more on it, and now you wear a badge, and now you're a badge guy. Hell out of here. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to the Prophet. Honors to everybody who's been supporting the Moorish militia. Moors are on their way home. So know that you did some good to assist these Moors, these brothers that were in adversity, these brothers that were going through some BS because of these colonists. Honors to you for supporting Moors. Right? What Khalifa said, Khalifa Media said, we prefer Moors. We don't mind other people, but we prefer Moors. Honors to all of you who preferred Moors, whether it was in energy, whether it was in word sound power, whether it was in finance. Honors to you for supporting the Moorish militia. You know, you could give yourself a tap on the back and all that stuff. Give yourself a hug for being honorable and not throwing these Moors under the bus like a lot of these traitors did, especially Moorish Science Temple people. So honors to you, supreme honors to you for supporting the Moorish militia. The Moors going to be home soon. You know, give them their space. They haven't seen their family in ever. So we'll be bombarding them when they get out and let them go chill. But you know, the first time they go live, it's going to be nuts. Everybody's getting cussed up. So honors to all the Moors worldwide. Oh, Moor said Jamal was live today. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all the Moors that love their nation and love their prophet. Honors to all the active Moors out there who are doing what they can to wake up our people, whatever it is that you do. Give them a flyer, sit on with them for 8 hours, go on different platforms and all that stuff. Going to go learn from astrology gay guys to bring the stuff back to the Moorish nation. Honors to all you Moors. And honors to all the Moors who are doing what they can. Honors to you. And also honors to the children. All the Moorish children. All the Moorish children who listen to Canaanland Moors with their honorable parents. Honors to you. And of course, honors to all the mothers. Without you, mother, we wouldn't be here. So thanks to all the mothers. Peace and love to all the Moors. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to Messiah Garvey. Islam Moors.